Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you a Socotel S63 from France, which is an orange, and this one is from 1975 and made by CTD Paris. Socotel is actually an acronym which means Société, or stands for Société des Constructeurs de Téléphones. And obviously CTD Paris was in Paris. The Socotel S63 was produced in between 1963 up until 1985, and this telephone model was the successor of the U43, which is a bakelite telephone. I've had this telephone just a little over 10 years. I got this phone in 2012, and I would say several years ago, I had a video of this telephone talking about it, but I had since deleted it because I was kind of cleaning up my channel. So I thought I would kind of do a redo video of it. So this one is obviously in the orange color, one of the more, I wouldn't say rare, because they do show up just like the blue ones. More of the, these days are a little bit more sought after, but of course back in the day, I don't know how sought after they were. They weren't one of the most common colors, and I would say that were used by subscribers. The most common colors were the two-tone gray and the two-tone brown, and those are the two most common ones. So this one is in very good shape. Before I decided doing this video, I had to dust it off because it had been sitting on the shelf. This phone never came with a original plug, so when I got this phone, I got a terminal box for it so I could plug in a modern plug to it. So I didn't have to worry about using any alligator clips to test this phone. It's in really good shape. Cords are in good shape, with the exception, of course, it being chopped off, which is why it doesn't have a plug on it at the end. Obviously it has its normal wear and tear from its use in its normal use lifetime. And yeah, it's a really great phone. This one, some of the later models, the later S63s came up with, had a different ringer with a single clapper to it. The bell sounded almost like a Western Electric 500, and they were bigger bells, and it had a big knob on the bottom to adjust the loudness of the ringer. This one has those interesting bells where they have the notches on them, and there's a clapper for each bell. So that's what that looks like. And there's the bottom label. So you have CTD Paris on the top, property of the state, PTT, so it's obviously property of the state, which is the Poste Téléphone et Télégraphe. Also, Socotel S63 on the third line. Got some codes there. And then you see Marche, the very bottom line. So it's 9 October 1975, and you can see that this is a, I don't know what you would call this kind of label, but it's melted into the plastic bottom here. You have a sticker here. So this was auto-regulated. It says it's not necessary or ever necessary for regulation. I can't remember what the bottom one says. My French memories of learning French are kind of fuzzy now. It's been so long. And these telephones are known for their extra receiver on the back, which are, some call it a watch receiver, and most commonly known as a mother-in-law receiver. And what I understand is that this can be used for a second person to listen in, just to listen in only. And even I understand that these are also used because from what I understand out in France, the further away you were from the central office or the exchange, the weaker the lines were. So you would use both. And that's another thing I heard about the reasoning that they have these. It's the weak signal. So you would put, you know, your handset on one ear and the other one on the other ear, so you kind of have a stereo experience with your conversation on the phone. Here's what the dial looks like. These dials are the exact same as found on automatic electric telephones. And you can see that the dial label here is actually mounted behind the finger wheel. So it's a paper or a cardstock label with obviously printed out options here. And that was a place right there where you can write your phone number. And you can see the most important ones are in bold. So you had the police and then the fire department. And of course you would dial those numbers. I did have a few issues with this dial years ago when getting it working, and when I tightened the bolt that holds in the speed governor, the speed governors have those worm gears on it, and the part on the bottom, not where the top with the two wings on the governor, but the bottom part had stripped, so I had to use a plastic one found on a automatic electric 80E to fit that. So the dial's a bit scratchy, but it's working normally. Let me demonstrate. It's a little bit scratchy sounding, but it's got a smooth return on it now. Here's what the handset looks like. I'll give you a closer look. No labels anywhere. In fact, they didn't label anything on their plastic housings, just on the bottom. So they didn't put their logos or anything, because these telephones were made by various, I don't know what they call them there, but they called them, I don't know, you could say conglomerates or various manufacturers. This one is CTD Paris. I have another one that says like, I don't even remember. I used to have one that said Thompson Houston, which is Ericsson. If you all recall my two-tone brown one that I used to have years ago. And then I have a blue, and I think, if I remember correctly, it's, shoot, I'm trying to pull up the little name here, but my tablet is freezing on me. I'm gonna get ready to throw that thing out the window. I think it's on its way out. But it had let's see. It had like the name Bonneville on it, Bonneville. So I think it's HPF Bonneville, which I think is the manufacturer of my blue one. I plan on doing a video of that one as well. I actually never did a video of that telephone. And one thing that I noticed on various S63s is sometimes on various telephones the fonts were different. I've seen ones, I don't know if it depends on what years they were made or what manufacturer made them, but this one happens to have rounded fonts, but I've seen ones that are more boxy looking. And also, these telephones were not only used in France, but they were also exported by a company called Telic, which is spelled Telic, and the E has the little accent over it, so it's Telic. And I do believe that they exported those out into, for example, Cyprus, and they had the numbers only bezel around it, and of course they had a similar looking dial label, but they had it either in Greek or in English. So like you have it in French here, but I've seen on Etsy, for example, I've seen these for sale, the Talik the model from Cyprus with the Greek wording or the English. But I know they speak Turkish over there, but I don't think they were ever found in Turkish. I think they were either found in Greek or, as I said, English. I do think they use these in, they used them in Portugal too. So, but they didn't have this type of label. They had a different type, I think. I can't remember though. So, yeah, that's the orange Socotel S63 from 1975. And now what we'll do is we will give a little demonstration. So, give me a second. We'll be right back. All right, we are back to demonstrate the telephone here. So let me get, let's see, I got the BK Precision. Let me, actually, let's do this first. All right, plug it in. Okay. Heard the bell tingle, so we know that the phone is plugged in, and we know that the French telephones do not have a bias spring, hence the bell tinkle. All right, so all right, let me use some dial tone. I'm gonna try on both sides of this camera here, see if we can get it. And then also, volume's actually a little bit quieter on these. I know they aren't too loud. Okay. We'll test the transmitter. You can see that it is working as I speak into the handset. Okay. We'll situate. All right. So now we will dial a few numbers. Okay. And now to demonstrate the ringer. Alrighty, I hope you enjoyed this video of this telephone that I've had for just a little over 10 years. 1975 Socotel S63 in orange from France, made by CTD Paris. More videos are to come. Thank you very much for watching.